In 1998, we went to Hong Kong on an official visit, and they were all at the apex of the pyramid. And I was working in the bottom of the pyramid with microfinancing of rural poor women. All the presidents of the organization have made a huge impression about the importance of this organization, and it's been resilient. IWF and SAWID, for me, are really platforms that are for any South African woman, black, white, whatever color we choose. What I've always dreamt of for myself, you lift as you rise. I want to say thank you to the IWFSA, South Africa. You've done so well.
Wow, oh wow, oh wow. You all look resplendent. Let me make sure it's in the leg, darling. The leg has to show. But on a serious note, the First Lady, Dr. Tshepo Motsepe, the Honorable Naledi Pandor, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, the Honorable Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Minister of Cooperative Governance, I beg your pardon, and Traditional Affairs, Madam President, Helen Rule of IWF Global, and Madam President, Irene Chandley of IWFA South Africa, board members of IWF Global and IWFSA, esteemed members of IWFSA, our keynote sponsor, Ntate Mureki. Standard Bank, we thank you, Babulungisa. Honored guests, near and far, sisters, mothers, daughters, grandmothers, welcome to this auspicious occasion, the 20th anniversary celebration of IWFSA. My name is Basitsana Khumalo, and it is indeed my singular privilege, pleasure, and honor to be your host this evening. This very special occasion, the 20th anniversary gala of the South African Forum of the International Women's Forum. Let's find out now as we take a closer look at the story of who we are, what we do, and why we do it. This is the story of IWF and IWFSA. Take a look.
20 years in the history of humanity is the blink of an eye. But to those who make history, to those who seize the moment, 20 years is time enough to begin changing the world. Her name is Eleanor Guggenheimer. She was a civic leader, an activist, and an urban planner. In 1974, together with 3 other women, Eleanor Guggenheimer founded an organization devoted to advancing women's leadership and championing equality worldwide. The International Women's Forum, the IWF, had been formed, and the world of women would never be the same. Today, the IWF is a global sisterhood, connecting and promoting more than 9,000 leaders in more than 34 countries. And here in South Africa, where women have long been at the forefront of the struggle for social justice, equality, and emancipation. 20 years ago, Mamzanele Mbeki answered the call to set up a South African forum of the IWF. The road ahead seemed steep, the hill too high to climb. Led by committed, transformative presidents, women achievers, working together, sharing a common vision, can do more than hold up half the sky. Women united and inspired can reach beyond the stars. The IWFSA, as the first African member of the Global Federation, has risen to become one of the most active and influential voices of women leaders in the country. Entrepreneurs, academics, scientists, doctors, lawyers, business leaders, philanthropists, community activists, social workers, politicians, extraordinary women dedicated to an extraordinary task to share their skills, their talents, their experience, their knowledge and insights. Women blazing the trail for women, women lifting as they rise, aspiring to be the voice of women leaders who ignite change, committed to developing and building a pipeline of the next generation of women leaders. The IWFSA continues to have a lasting and meaningful impact on the lives, hopes, and dreams of South African women. But women who care must do more than reach out the hand that uplifts. They must offer the hand that comforts. Thousands of South African women fall victim every year to gender-based violence and femicide. The IWFSA has played a leading role in highlighting the issue on the national agenda and launching the GBVF Response Fund. Women supporting women, women making a significant difference. The power of the sisterhood leading the way for the next generation of women leaders has reached a milestone. 20 years of hope, action, and change is just the beginning.
So I would say, as Frantz Fanon said, you know, you have your own mission, you have to discover your own mission. Fulfill it or betray it. I know you won't betray it.
Here's to the IWFSA.
Society, ladies and gentlemen.
Kaupindu pege futi, kaupinde, kaupindu pege futi, kaupinde, uyo tiwabonani, uwabonani.
For Imilonji Choral Society. They celebrate 40 years this year, and I think they deserve a round of applause. the heartbeat of your music, the lifeblood of your voices. You're a gift to all of us. We call her Madam President. And we value her guiding, inspirational role that she has played and continues to play at the helm of the IWFSA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Irene Chandley.
Honored and beautiful guests, you look beautiful. Thank you to Standard Bank, Mr. Lungisi and Margaret. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So ladies, as we look back on the first 20 years of our quest to lift as we rise, I would like to begin by taking you with me on a journey even further back in time, all the way across the generations to an August day in 1956, a day when women from far and wide gathered as one to make their way to the citadel of power. They had a message as they marched, and they sang it in song, their voices rising in the wintry air. What did they say? Watint abafasi, they chanted. Watindi umbokodo, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. But when they reached the union buildings, there was no one who would meet with them. No one who would take their petitions against the unjust laws of the apartheid system. So they put down their petitions and they stood in absolute silence, encircled by stone for a full 30 minutes. It was a silence that carried the burden of pain, the burden of living at the bottom of the pyramid of society, as our founder and patron, Ma'am Zanele Mbeki, so eloquently puts it. It is up to us to use our global IWF forum of more than 7,500 women leaders. Let us work together, all of us, in the best interest of all the women in South Africa. Let me hand over to His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who cannot be here in person, but who has a message for us here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government of the Republic of South Africa, I wish to convey my warmest wishes and congratulations to the International Women's Forum South Africa on reaching this important milestone. What has been particularly noteworthy has been the programs and activities to nurture and grow younger generation of women's leadership. Not only is the very presence of outstanding women leaders in your ranks an inspiration to younger women, but by supporting younger women to lead, you cement your legacy as a progressive but also sustainable organization. We salute the International Women's Forum, South Africa, on reaching 20 years of building the bridge of equality for women in our country and beyond. May you continue to grow in your role as architects of a more egalitarian, non-sexist, non-racist, democratic, prosperous, and a free South Africa. Have a wonderful time. I thank you.
Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. You're the key to my peace of mind. You make me feel. You make me feel. You make me feel like a woman. When my soul was still lost and found, you came along to claim it. I didn't know just what was wrong with me. president. You are amazing. Kanda rako spirida. Puti rako raka fana na miraku. Order please, because na order. Order please. Dewe makori akawanda. Kana uche. Kana uche. Don't you cry, don't you cry, don't you cry, don't you cry, sister, don't you cry, brother. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the IWFSA Hall of Fame Awards for 2022. Now, these awards pay tribute to women who have devoted their lives and their careers to the quest to uplift and empower, and in so doing have advanced the spirit and the cause of womanhood in the broader service for all humanity. Tonight, we honor, celebrate, appreciate, and humbly thank these women for lifting as they rise, and for inspiring us all through the work they have done and continue to do. And now, introducing our first IWFSA Hall of Fame honoree for 2022. Our first IWFSA Hall of Fame honoree for 2022 is not able to join us in person tonight due to pressing international business. It is my honor to read the citation of our first Hall of Fame honoree. Today, at the helm of the WTO, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala continues to make sure that the concerns and interests of the developing world are heard, discussed, and indeed addressed. For her illustrious record as a key leader and influence in global affairs, she has won numerous awards at home and abroad. And tonight, it is our great privilege to add another accolade to that list for her outstanding leadership as a global role model for African women, for her tireless efforts to champion the cause of the poor and the downtrodden in developing economies, for her strength, prowess, and expertise as an ambassador of the very best of our continent. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, honoree of the IWFSA Hall of Fame for 2022. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellencies, First Lady Dr. Ramaphosa, Minister Lamini Zuma, Minister Pandor, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to be given this Hall of Fame award by the International Women's Forum of South Africa, recognizing and celebrating my leadership and achievements throughout my career. I want to also celebrate their Excellencies, Mrs. Zanele Mbeki and Dr. Frene Ginwala, fellow Hall of Fame honorees, for their achievements and the example they have set for women all over the world. I'm sorry I cannot be with you in person as we are hosting the Prime Minister of Barbados, Her Excellency Mia Mottley, at the World Trade Organization today. Over the last 20 years, I know that the International Women's Forum South Africa has been a pillar for women in South Africa and Africa at large. IWFSA members have worked hard to challenge the stereotypes and the systemic and cultural issues that women face daily. As an economist, the work you have done on women's financial and economic inclusion and pay parity in the workplace in particular stands out for me. Indeed, last month, we launched a gender audit here at the WTO to ensure, among other things, pay parity between men and women, and that women are given the same opportunities as men within the organization. Let me also commend you on the work that you're doing to place more women in the boardroom and in executive positions. In December 2021, women CEOs made up only 8% of Fortune 500 companies. In Africa, I know we're doing a bit better with respect to women in the executive suite and the boardrooms, but not by much. We have a lot to do. Women are missing not only in executive positions, but also in roles of political leadership. Only 57 out of 193 nations that are members of the UN have ever had a woman hold the highest political office with executive power, 6 of them in Africa. Imagine 6 out of 55 countries. So whilst a lot of work has been done, there's still a long way to go. More has to be done to change our society and empower the next generation of women leaders. This is why the work that the International Women's Forum South Africa does is so important. We must continue to work hard to break glass ceilings. Thank you once again for this award and honor. I wish you a wonderful event.
Thank you, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala. Ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon Minister Naledi Pandor to accept this award on behalf of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Madam Minister.
Thank you very much. I feel deeply privileged to have been asked to receive this wonderful award on behalf of the WTO CEO. It's an absolute pleasure. She's a brilliant leader. She's just assisted Africa in breaking the back of the barrier of discrimination posed by lack of access to intellectual property, as well as patents and technology transfer through very hard WTO rules. It's her first major victory for the developing world in trade rules. So it's a real privilege to receive this.
We now move on to our second honoree for this evening, Dr. Frene Ginwala.
To millions of her fellow South Africans, she will always be known by the title she wore in the very heart of our young democracy. A voice of reason, respected and admired. A keeper of order in the noise and bustle of the House. Madam Speaker. But when we speak of Dr. Frene Ginwala, we speak of a woman who has held many titles and earned many distinctions. Lawyer, academic, journalist, editor, Doctor of Philosophy from Oxford University, Chair of the African Union Steering Committee in the Pan-African Parliament, Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, co-drafter of the South African Constitution. And yet, Dr. Ginwala steadfastly resists any attempt to portray herself as an icon. The title she chooses for herself is quite simply activist. An ordinary South African, she says, doing ordinary work. Work that has helped to uplift, empower, and emancipate women. Work that has helped to build a new and free society.
When Mandela did arrive, I had to hide him. I'd received him in Dar es Salaam. They rang the bell and I opened the door. My first year, and I've got to hide you. I never lived that down because Mandela had an incredible memory. And every now and again he would say, you know, this girl, the first thing she says when I come out of the country and see her, she says, I've got to hide you. He doesn't even welcome me.
At the forefront of the struggle for social and political liberation, she has held aloft the torch for women's rights too. She played a critical role in the revitalization of the ANC Women's League. And as convener of the National Women's Coalition, she helped to mobilize women to take active part in South Africa's negotiated transition to democracy. To Dr. Ginwala, in large part, we owe the inclusion of non-sexism as a founding value in our Constitution, along with the commitment to gender equality in the Bill of Rights. But above all, there is one achievement for which Dr. Ginwala can proudly claim credit. She is the voice of a nation. She is the speaker of the people. For her tireless dedication to the cause of a free South Africa, for her inspiring devotion to the building of a better future for women.
It was a sense of great responsibility and saying, could I do it? Could I do those things? And I had to carry it through.
Dr. Frene Ginwala, honoree of the IWFSA Hall of Fame for 2022.
We salute Dr. Frene Ginwala for her service about self and for the role she has played in strengthening our young democracy. And I now would like to call on Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma to accept the award on behalf of Dr. Ginwala. And now please meet our third IWFSA Hall of Fame honoree for 2022, Zanele Mbeki.
In her motherland, she is known as Mam Beki, a title that pays tribute to the warmth of her personality, the quiet dignity that shields her strength of spirit. Above all, her name bears testament to the love she feels for her country and its people, and to the millions who have come to know and love her in turn. In a lifelong career of activism and service that has made a positive and meaningful difference to millions of South Africans, Mam Beki has a great deal to be proud of. Mam Beki founded the WDB in 1991.
In the early days, we found that poor women were given a lot of training by NGOs, but not left with resources to buy the goods that they have been trained on. For instance, you get taught how to sew, but you can't buy a sewing machine.
Mam Zanele Mbeki, honoree of the IWFSA Hall of Fame for 2022.
I would like to thank the IWF South Africa Board and its membership for including me in this trio of honorees. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, Mam Beki. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm, boisterous African applause for Helen Rule, the President of IWF Global Board of Directors.
Hi, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here with my IWF South Africa sisters. I think I can use my glasses. IWF SA President Irene Chanley, thank you for your leadership and for the invitation to be here with you. I am in awe of the women in the room and the amazing leadership that has been honoured tonight. I too wish to convey my congratulations to Dr. Frini Ginwala, Mrs. Zanele Mbeki, and Dr. Ignozi for their awards. I hope I've said the names correctly. Our IWF organisation is exceedingly proud to have you as part of our sisterhood, and we celebrate all you have done for women locally and for IWF. I also want to recognise and thank President Ramaphosa for his support of IWF South Africa and for being a champion of women's leadership. I have a special affinity for South Africa. More than 20 years ago, I was a fellow in the IWF Fellows Leadership Program. In my fellows class was Totsi Memela, who has been a dear friend and an integral part of my life ever since. I love you, Totsi. One of the reasons I so proudly took up the role of IWF Global President was precisely this warm and wonderful feeling I experienced as a fellow with Totsi and that we are all sharing tonight. I have never experienced another network capable of inspiring this feeling. A network of generous, genuine, and accomplished women all across the globe, connected in a common mission to advance women's leadership and champion equality. As the world becomes more divided and as our challenges grow more complex, this mission becomes ever more relevant. In times of adversity, it's easy for our differences to divide us. IWF is a great example of how differences make us stronger. The difference we are striving to achieve individually in our day-to-day lives creates the threads of our global story for change. When we come together as women leaders across every professional sector in support of each other, I believe we are an unstoppable force for good. Our individual difference is our collective strength. When I took up the role of president, I never expected it to be virtual. There is nothing I love more than being in a room with IWF women from all across the world. Yes, our members are Nobel laureates, Olympic athletes, CEOs, heads of state, astronauts, lawyers, scientists, entrepreneurs, and more. Our members build, create, and transform our business, our society, and our world. And we do it with ambition, as well as with empathy. And that is the difference with IWF. An IWF woman is generous with her time, her network, and herself. So as we move into the new future, my hope is that we can take our special brand of IWF leadership and send this warmth and compassion out into the world. I ask every forum to speak out more loudly in support of the mission to champion equality. I hope to hear every forum member use her impact and influence to advance women's leadership for the next generation. It is up to us to leverage our collective influence and power to shape a future in which leadership has no gender and the next generation is inspired and equipped to transform the world. IWF sisters, in our difference lies the difference we will make. The beauty of this forum is that as leaders, we each stand for something, but when we come together, we stand for each other. We stand for the advancement of women's leadership and championing equality worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Madam President Helen. You know, it's been so wonderful to spend the last 3 days with you and your esteemed colleagues, and I do hope that you've enjoyed the hospitality of our beautiful nation.
It's been phenomenal.
And its people. Thank you so much. Please receive a bunch of flowers from us.
Thank you.
And this is Paul Johnson. Paul has worked tirelessly behind the scenes to help us pull this event together. Paul, we love you. We are especially grateful to Standard Bank as our keynote sponsor, and we are honored to have with us the Chief Executive of Standard Bank Limited, South Africa, Lungisa Fuzile, who will kindly be addressing us now. Babu Fuzile, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Program Director. It is a singular honor to me and to my Standard Bank colleagues present here tonight, and indeed to our entire group, to be here with you this evening. As a group, we are immensely proud to be associated with the celebration of 20 years of existence of the South African chapter of the IWF. As our great, iconic former President Mandela, who, by the way, used to be my neighbor, once said, and I quote, "Freedom cannot be achieved unless women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression." Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to join me, to join our group as we congratulate the 3 very special women who have been inducted on the IWFSA Hall of Fame tonight. Dr. Zanele Mbeki, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and Dr. Frini Junwala. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Lungisa. Siyabonga baba ukuthi hayi nisiphe imali sizokwazi ukuba nomcimbi omuhle kangaka okhuthaza abesimame ukuthi bathuthuke nomsebenzi wabo iye phambili. Siyabonga baba Lungisa. Now, as the slogan of Standard Bank reminds us, no matter how great our dreams, no matter how vast our ambitions, if we put them to work, it can be. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute privilege to be your host this evening. Good night and God bless.
Suba